Hello everybody, welcome to this playthrough for Master Division with various wins for the Canada Vinyl Cup, the Lake Wabasca and the Maple Bay. It's a mix of those two that we are going to play. And before we take a look at all the content, make sure that you do hit the thumbs up button, also subscribe to the channel and turn on the notifications. For those of you that do want to have premium content and make sure that you always get to the weekend round in Master, you scan the QR code here on the screen or you go directly to patreon.com/golfclashtommy. We do not just have Master Division guides, we offer expert tournament guides as well, together with tour play guides and the checkpoint challenge. Make sure to sign up and start your journey becoming a better player. Follow the info box on the right hand side to get the club distance adjustment, elevation adjustment, also the ball and club type I suggest you to play with. Have in mind that those are all suggestions and you don't have to follow it if you don't want to, but there is always a plan behind it. So let's go to hole number 1. So on the drive here, we're going to start at the top of +11, this to mimic the P2 max line, and this is a shot that is option number 1 in our guide. We're going to have one that is free to play as well. Adjust is max +10 P3, and you can see all the top spin, all the boost, and then a little bit of a left spin as well. Once I've adjusted, I'm going to go max overpower with a slower needle. With the face-off, the needle will be more or less super slow. With a smash ball, which also is a possibility, then the needle will shake a bit more. With the big top, it will always be a slow needle, but then the wind will be pretty high on the approach. This is a shot where a great left favors a great right, so if you are a great right hitter, I would recommend to use inside wall left curl. So we're going a little bit aggressive in the sense of using the right side instead of laying up on the left side, in my opinion. I've been hitting single great rights with Apoc 8 and have been just safe. However though, Apoc 7 and Apoc 6 and 5 will have less accuracy, and then a great right will most likely not be safe in the sense of staying on the fairway. It will always reach from the rough, but it's up to you to make the call what suits you the best. Apoc 5 and Apoc 6 needs a little push up in the end. That is listed in the guide. For the shorter drives, then we're going to play from landing position, and we're going to use one right spin and one back spin here as well. Similar structure as for the long drives, half a green square short of pin, and then we're going to use +5 once again as a base, and it's going to be 94% slider, plus 40% elevation, P3 numbers. Here in the video I do play max numbers, and I also missed by the difference of 94 and max, and this is a video just for reference because this one is the best quality that I do have from this range. Couple of things to have in mind: that if you do fall short with a smash ball which only has power 2, then you put yourself at the max line and adapt the backspin so you can have the ball guideline half a green square short of pin, always keeping the one right. On the second shot, we are going to do a rough line check with the B52, and this is for the longer drives, which is the ones that we do prefer. One right and one back always. And then we're going to set the tip of the ball guideline to be half a green square short of pin. Now, in the moment, I forget what plus yardage I had, so I'm moving up once again. And there we see +4 it is once again. So half a green square short of pin, and with the longer drives, we do have a base with rough line check at +5, which is 74% slider, plus 40% elevation, P3 numbers, and here I'm deducting 0.1. Center the ball and hit perfect, and this is going to be a good chance. What I would like you to do is that if you do have a wind that will be in the need of pulling more than once over, like pulling more than 10 rings is what I'm trying to say, then still pull once over bullseye, so we do get the accurate numbers. So this is the long drive. Make sure to check out the short drive for reference as well if you happen to not get the rollout on the drive. Get the guide on patreon.com/golfclashtommy. You can also scan the QR code and go directly there. Hole number 6, we're going to play with 3.5 bar backspin. And we're going to play with our quarterback. So here I would recommend to set up with a ball that do not have any side spin. So that will be much easier for you. Now ball guideline into the hole with the inner ring just slightly overlapping the rough line. 8.3 is going to be a 1-to-1 adjustment, which is max, no elevation, P4 numbers. Adjustment is done. Have in mind that when you're pulling down into the bunker, you will lose part of the ball guideline, so that's going to be difficult to then adjust accurately. So pull slowly, otherwise you will be struggling of hitting the intended landing spot. Center the ball and hit perfect. There we go. The ball will then bounce into the rough nicely, double bounce not double bounce, one bounce on fairway, one bounce on green, and then roll dead center for a lovely hole-in-one on hole number 6. On hole number 6, we are going to play option number 1 with a Wind 5 Power 5 ball. This shot is untested with Wind 3 ball and only one time tested with a Wind 4 ball. The Wind 4 ball will work. You're going to have to add slightly on the second shot, but Luminary is completely untested, just to have that said. Start at max bullseye just before it gets clipped by the rough. 0.3 top spin, 1 left spin, and we're going 0.8 ball of left curl. Favor a great left over a great right here. I've been hitting both, and a perfect as well, obviously. So a great right will still work. It's just that if you hit a very bad great right, you might have the trees blocking some sort of your view. Again, that's if you are super unlucky. Because the more left we are on the fairway, the better angle we do have on the second shot. Because now we are going aggressive. We are attacking the pin for an albatross, which is, in my opinion, a very good chance. 4 drops in 2 different wind angles before I went live, and this is my live attempt. I'm using 1 right spin, and it's gonna be somewhere between 3.7 up to 4 top spin, but we're always going to be, as the drive is very consistent, around plus 18 to plus 20 yards. The important part is to have the tip of the ball guideline 2.5 green square through the hole. If you feel that you generally struggle with the time, then I would just set a heavy 3.8 top spin and just be done with it. This angle is going to be the no tweak angle whatsoever, because now we're not gonna adjust down into the bunker. Aiming for as straight pull possible here. And now this ball is a little bit smaller, so obviously it is a little bit more difficult to center this ball, but I think I'm, at least in this video, have it absolutely perfect. So I'm centering the ball, I'm getting myself a perfect ball. And you will see here now that the aggressive part with this shot is is not really as aggressive as you may think, because we are still landing in the center of the rough with our first bounce, and but obviously important here now to be correct with your pull angles and ball centering and stuff like that, so you're not putting the bunkers in play. We're looking at the top of the yellow ring to be just by the edge of the rough line as well. I don't know if I said that, but now it's said. Wind angle tweaks and all other details will be posted in Telegram, but also in the guides. Make sure to get the guides, scan the QR code on the screen, or you go directly to patreon.com/golfclashtommy. For hole number 3, with this wind, we do have a possibility to do a rough bump, which is always going to be a nice little possibility. Here I'm starting with a power 1 ball in complete max distance, then I'm swapping to a power 2 ball using 1.9 backspin and 1 left spin. You can see here that the ball guideline is 1 green square right of the pin. Adjustment is maximum distance with a 25% over adjustment. Power 0 ball number. A lot of rains though, especially in the highest winds. Pulling very slowly to make sure that I do pull the accurate numbers, and then I'm pulling straight. Center the ball. Hit perfect. And hitting perfect here allows you to have a very good chance for an hole-in-one. I remember this from a previous tournament. A great left was fine, a great right was death. And have in mind that you can play many different ways on hole number 3, and this is just an example of how you can play it. Take your game to the next level with our ultimate tournament text guide for expert and master division for this Canada 9-hole cup, where we do have the same wind throughout the whole tournament. This is the way to look back at how it was back in the days where we did have the same wind always throughout the tournament. So make sure to subscribe, use the QR code here on the screen, or go to patreon.com/golfclashtommy. Obviously, we do not just have 9-hole cup guides. We offer 18-hole tournament guides now for the summer major coming up, but we also do have tour guides and checkpoint challenge, something for everyone and stuff that you can't find anywhere else. So make sure to sign up and try out to be a part of the largest guide community here in Golf Clash. Hole number 2, with tailwind, we're gonna play an NMT, which is half a bar left spin and 5 top spin. Here we don't have to tweak for any of the apocalypse levels, as we all going to have, regardless if we have apoc 5, 6, 7 or 8, we're gonna have 5 top spin on our club, and we're all gonna have the same power. Adjustment, max plus 15, power 3 ball settings. Here you can play with a Wind 4 ball as well if you would like. The reason I'm playing with a Wind 5 ball is due to the fact that I do not want to have as high wind on the second shot here on hole number 2. Bounce on the fairway, and now we're gonna get that little rollout which we are looking for, which is perfect. We want to be around 380 yards. Second shot, then we're gonna play a double bounce rough bump. This is the only way from this direction to get an albatross. If you do not feel confident with that, use your sniper, use all the backspin and aim on the right side of the rough and sand and the water and bounce the ball to green. You can see here now we are playing at +2, and we're gonna have the landing position as a reference here, using just a little bit of top spin, 1.7 top spin to have to be more accurate. So from +2, we're playing 61% slider, +10% elevation, P3 numbers. Center the ball on it perfect, and we're gonna see ourselves having a good chance for a drop, in my opinion. This is probably, not probably, but this together with hole number 9 is definitely going to be the tougher par 5s to get a drop on. Bounce into the rough, dead center, lovely albatross on hole number 2. So on hole number 1, here you can most likely play in many different ways, but I'm focusing on playing a very safe way to always get ourselves down into wedge range. So I'm playing in between the biggest gap of the trees that are there on the right, using max topspin with all the apocalypse levels clubs, and I'm adjusting max +10 P5 with my luminary as I'm using. For those of you playing with Apocalypse level 5, use 2.5 rings of overpower after the adjustment. Those of you using Apocalypse level 6, use 1 ring of overpower after the adjustment. That's going to be with a completely slow needle. Bouncing on the fairway, great right and great left are safe. We're clipping the rough and we're rolling out. And now we're gonna have a wedge that is approximately 50 to 60% slider every single time. On the wedge, on the second shot, it's either to go with the max topspin method or is to go with the no spin method. It's up to you to decide what you want to go with. I'm going with the max topspin method, as I do have Endbringer 8, which obviously will allow me to adjust less rings on the second shot. Now, alright, so when we're playing the max topspin version, we're going to play EB School minus 30% P4, and obviously with the true slider. For those of you playing no spin EB School, we do recommend to play plus 25, and the reason we want to recommend to play plus 25 instead of plus 20 is due to the fact that it will be a slight downhill wedge to account for. Obviously, you judge yourself what you want to play, but these are my and our suggestion, and obviously P5 numbers with that in mind. So, if you do want to get the best guides on the market and crush the Rocky Mountain tournament, scan the QR code on the screen or get the guides on patreon.com/golfclashtommy. Hole number 7, this took a long time, very pleased with it in the end though, but yeah, wasted a lot of time here. 7.7 topspin and 1 right spin is what I'm looking for to use, and I'm gonna have the bullseye just by the edge of the rough line with ball guideline to the hole. This is a Thor's Hammer level 6 plus option, as Thor's Hammer 6 have this amount of topspin. However, the Thor's Hammer level 6 most likely won't be having the ball guideline all the way through the hole, but Thor's Hammer 7 and 8 will have that. Now, we are looking to make an adjustment when it comes to Thor's Hammer level 8. It's max plus 5% power 1 settings. And when it comes to Thor's Hammer 6 and 7, we're playing medium distance with a 20% over adjustment power 1 settings. In this angle, using 2 clicks of right curl, obviously we will address what to use in the other angles as well in Telegram and also in the guide. So if you do want full details, you go to patreon.com/golfclashtommy or scan the QR code on the screen. Hole number 4, when we do have a crosswind or a headwind, we're going to have to play on the right hand side. If you do want to see a reference in terms of going towards the green, then please check out the Pro and Expert playthrough where I go through it there. Starting at the top of +6, and half of the white ring, the 4th ring by the rough line there to the right. Max topspin adjustment, max +10, power 4. Full left curl, and we're gonna play in this case 3.5 ring of overpower for a shot with Apocalypse 5 and 6, 100% overpower all the time. The goal is to go over the rough, roll up the hill, and then just roll back a little bit and settle around 360 yards. Now, for the second shot, we're going to play a rough bump with our B52, and we're gonna do either a fringe check or we're gonna do a pin check here. It all depends on what distance you do have off a tee. What needs to be said with this shot here is that we do not have a complete straight rough line, which is here we're going to have to rely on our ball guidelines position through the hole, because we're not going to be able to play with the red ring by the rough line all the time, because that's going to be angle dependent on where you end up after your drive. Adjustment though is a 30% elevation, and then whatever sliders. In this case we have a +1 pin shake, and I play 33% slider with this power 4 ball setting. Center the ball, hit perfect, and this will be a good chance, because a rough bump like this will always be a good chance in my opinion. Swirly in from the right, I'll take that all day and every day. Do you have to play with a Spartan ball here? We do recommend to play with a Wind 5 ball, but it's not a must, but it will obviously be tougher because, yeah, again, more wind in your face is going to make it harder to bounce over the rough and the sand. On hole number 9, the drive, it's an NMT, so we're going to open at +20. We're using a Tiki ball or any other power 5, wind 5 balls here. We don't need any side spin on this shot. Adjust is max +10 P4, then it's max overpower, and I mean the needle will be slightly slower than max needle, but it still will shake a lot, and that's why Tiki is the perfect ball here due to its good overpower needle. I've been hitting bad grades on either side and has both been safe to still be on the fairway, but obviously we are looking for a perfect drive to be at the perfect angle on the second shot. The drive will vary between 395 all the way up to 410, and therefore we will suggest different spins depending on how long you go, but the adjustment is actually aligning very well, because I've dropped it all from +1 pin check up to +16 pin check, which means that adjustment feels fairly solid. On the second shot, we're doing a pin check, so we move our bullseye as quick as we can up to the pin. And this is going to be a +7, and now when we are at the +4 to +7 range, or sorry, +1 up to around +10, then we're going to play with 4.7 topspin. And if we are having a pin check that is up around +14, 15, 16, well, let's say like this, above +10, then we're gonna play with 4.5 bars of topspin instead. This, as we otherwise have a risk of falling short if we're not compensating with a different topspin amount. Adjustment with our base is going to be +4 is mid distance, so 50% slider, -10% elevation, P5 numbers. Perfect ball, and we drop it dead center for lovely albatross here on hole number 9. Get our guide by scanning the QR code or go to patreon.com/golfclashtommy. Link is in the description down below. Thank you so much everybody for watching this playthrough for Master Division with various wind for the Canada 9-hole Cup here in Golf Clash the game. Before you end this video, make sure to hit the thumbs up button and subscribe to the channel. Scan the QR code here on the screen and go directly to patreon.com/golfclashtommy to find the Checkpoint Challenge, Tour Play guides and tournament guides. Once again, I want to wish you the best of luck in the Canada 9-hole Cup.